Hello, I'm Dr. Moskowitz, and you are Susie
Yes.
Robinson.
Hello, Doctor. I don't
Hello.
know where to start. I've never done this before. I've never needed to. Or, not to be rude. I didn't want to waste my time. Do you understand what I mean? I'm sure you do. So I'm looking for some quick clarity on one silly issue I've run up against, which I'll try to explain. The issue is surprises. I know everyone loves surprises. I'm sure you do, don't you, Dr. Moskowitz? Anyway, my whole life since childhood, I've been famous for my surprises. One time, I must have been around 5, I hid in my family's dark laundry room till my mother, carrying a huge bundle of clothes, turned on the light and I yelled, "Surprise!" I can still hear her scream. And another time, when I was, I don't know, college age, I put goldfish in our kitchen sink, and that was a good one. Another time, I served worms on Ritz crackers at a potluck party, and when I yelled, "Surprise! They're worms!" the guests' facial expressions were priceless. I could see they wanted to laugh, but their mouths were full. I've always been great with surprises. Those are just quick examples, but you get the idea, don't you? So that was then, and this is now. Let's live in the present, shall we? My issue began last month when I decided to surprise my coworkers. I stayed after work and totally redecorated the office. I redesigned the layout of the desks, glued all personal photos and mementos to a feature wall, attached plastic decor to everyone's computers, and then spray painted a mural across the 4 walls. A wild mural of an ocean, including whales, mermaids, and mermen. I almost bought a big bird cage filled with finches, but I thought they'd be too noisy, so I didn't. Can you imagine? All those finches would have been amazing. I have to admit I was over the moon with what I'd accomplished. I hardly slept imagining the expressions on my co-workers' faces. I was so excited to get to work the next morning, and as they arrived, they were obviously overwhelmed by the new surroundings. When one of them saw the feature wall, they almost started to cry. But before they could, I yelled, "Surprise!" They were speechless with gratitude, dumbstruck. You can picture it, can't you, Dr. Moskowitz? When my boss walked in, I yelled, "Surprise!" And I swear, he stood in the middle of the room for at least 5 minutes, shaking his head, taking in the transformation, happily puzzled by all the desks in their new configuration, and slowly turning around, taking in the mural on all 4 walls. The 4 walls with a mural of the ocean and the beach, including whales and mermaids and mermen. My boss stopped when he saw me in the group and looked at me, his eyes burning with gratitude, and asked me if I understood what I had done. I was so happy with his reaction, I kept laughing as I said, "Yes, indeed I did. Thank you." He stared at me as though suddenly seeing the real me for the first time in years. And I don't mean to brag, but I think I'd stunned him with my hidden talent for surprises. In a very profound voice, he invited me to follow him into his office. See what a talent for surprises can do, Dr. Moskowitz? But here's the issue. Fast forward to today. No one in my office is speaking to me. All the desks are back where they were, and my boss had the walls painted right over my mural, dismantled the feature wall, removed all the plastic decor from the computers, and told me I was on probation. This was a total surprise to me. Have you ever heard of such a thing? A reverse surprise? For the first time in my life, I'm with people who used a surprise against me, especially my boss. I'm flabbergasted. Do I really want to be around people who don't like surprises? Answer me this. Who doesn't like surprises? What I need you to tell me, Dr. Moskowitz, is what's wrong with their thinking. And the issue is, how can I change their minds? My plan right now is to bake marijuana brownies, leave them in the break room, and after my co-workers have eaten them, which of course they will, I'll yell, "Surprise! You're all high for the rest of the day." I think that experience could definitely change their minds about surprises and get me off probation. Do you agree, Dr. Moskowitz?